Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about why I want to talk to my therapist about borderline personality disorder. Now, my last therapist totally blew me off when I mentioned it and said that I couldn't possibly have it because I didn't have a constant pattern of cutting people out of my life, which I have talked to many borderlines online who have said that is not a good enough reason to say I don't have BPD. So I wrote down the 9 symptoms according to the DSM, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them. And hopefully my new therapist will be more understanding, or at least will offer a listening ear when I explain why I think I have this disorder. I think my anxiety has developed into this because I never really learned how to express emotions, and because I've been operating on such a high level of anxiety for so long that my brain has just not quite developed normally. So the first symptom is frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. And you can ask my partner. I am a pro at that. Every time they threaten to leave, I will plead and beg. And it isn't just with that too, it's with my friends. I make efforts to try and get them to pay attention to me because I'm worried they'll forget about me and leave me. I'm always worried about people leaving me. Being alone has been my worst fear for so long. And it's even harder with my partner because they're someone that I really love, and they have a bad past, and sometimes I guess they think that I'd be better off without them, and that terrifies me because I am so scared of losing them. Number 2 is unstable personal relationships. This ties in a little bit to number 1, as a way of me trying to get other people's attention. I'm pretty much in need of attention constantly, otherwise I feel like they've forgotten about me, they don't love me anymore, and this causes a lot of anger that I'm pretty good at keeping to myself. People don't realize that I get so upset at not being paid attention to. And I have a pretty good set of friends, so when I start asking for attention kind of subtly, I'll usually get the support I need. But it goes between, yes, we're best friends, to they don't care about me, I'm never gonna speak to them again, and it can switch really fast, and it's really frustrating for me because these are people I love and care about, and I don't like having these intrusive feelings. Number 3 is identity disturbance. Basically, that means I don't know who I am or what I believe. This has caused a lot of problems for me religiously. I've really struggled religiously. And I'm just coming to accept the terms that, I don't have to fit into a box. I believe in what I believe, and that's okay. But before, it would cause me a lot of distress not knowing what I believed. And it's also sort of not knowing what my sense of style is, like what my aesthetic is. I don't know if I'm girly or a tomboy, and I've also come to accept that I'm just a combination of both. Dyeing my hair has helped on that aspect of really being able to express myself. It's a way to sort of define myself as the girl with purple hair or whatever color I have. It gives me a sense of identity. Number 4 is impulsivity, and this is really the only one I don't seem to have. This includes unsafe sex, or reckless driving, reckless spending, binge eating, and I am neither of those, so that one really doesn't apply to me. Number 5 is recurrent self-harm behaviors. That is entirely in my past, but it did happen just because my emotions were so overwhelming. I needed a way to calm them down. And as you know, if you watched my video about Self-Injury Awareness Day, I really don't like to talk about that, so I'm just gonna skip over that. Number 6 is unstable mood. Now, so I'm bipolar, which means I go through I go through periods of depressions and hypomanias, but these are slow periods. I don't just bounce back and forth between depressed and manic. I will have down phases that will last for a few days to a week, and up phases that will last for a day to a week. But those are untriggered. Those are entirely caused by the chemical imbalances of my brain, with what I believe are the borderline mood swings. They are triggered by something someone says or does, and usually that sends me very quickly into a depressed or angry mood. But because I'm so unstable, I'm able to bounce back very quickly. I'm resilient. But I'm also able to fall back down again really quickly. It's like people have to walk on eggshells around me, and I hate that. I don't want to be that fragile girl who you need to walk on eggshells around, otherwise she's gonna just burst out into tears or something, or start yelling. Which I'm really good about not just starting yelling. I'm good about containing the anger inside of me. Bursting out into tears, however, I am not nearly so good at holding back at. But that, luckily, doesn't really harm anyone. Number 7 is chronic feelings of emptiness. I chronically just feel very empty and bored inside. I find it hard to entertain myself. I have difficulty in finding things to do that make me happy, and I really have a difficulty pinning down a hobby. I switch between different things because I'm just trying to find something that, makes me happy, that fills me up. Number 8 is inappropriate anger. I've talked about this before. I get upset when people don't pay attention to me. And like I said, I'm able to hold that anger inside, so at least the only person it's hurting is me. But it's really painful to be triggered to anger so easily, and that plus the frantic efforts to avoid abandonment create the I hate you, don't leave me cycle, where basically you get mad at this person you love and you want to rage and scream and say, I hate you. But you don't want to be left. you're just feeling something so intense and you need to get it out. And of course, there are much better, healthier ways. I'm going to ask my therapist to start me on DBT so I can learn healthier ways than just crying and incoherent, upset, blabbering, of working on dealing with my feelings to try and cope with that. One thing I've learned is called urge surfing. I don't know if I've talked about this before or not, but basically, once you get the urge to scream, you wait it out for 45 minutes. And by the time the 45 minutes is up, the urge has passed. It goes back to being unstable. I bounce back very quickly. But I also fall apart very quickly. And the last symptom is dissociation. I've talked about this in a previous video called depersonalization. I do, as a result of stress, tend to depersonalize a lot. And yeah, those are the 9 symptoms, and I relate very strongly to 8 of them, so I really feel like I need to talk to my therapist and talk about this very high possibility that I have borderline personality disorder, and that it's kind of, I believe, just caused by my anxiety and kind of just how hard my life used to be. I know borderline personality disorder is often caused by trauma, but it's not always, and I believe my anxiety in a way has kind of traumatized me. It's left me with no emotional skin. People describe BPD all the time as either having no emotional skin or being covered in third-degree burns. Everything hurts. I'm hypersensitive to the slightest change of tone. I'm good at sensing anger when it isn't there. I can sense anger in a neutral tone or a neutral face. And so life really is difficult like that. I get upset far more easily than I should, and more often than I need to. So hopefully my therapist is actually going to listen to me and not just brush me off like my last one did. Honestly, it's left me really, really scared that I'm not going to be listened to. That I'm going to be forced to live with just kind of this sort of self-diagnosis because no one will take me seriously. But the symptoms I feel are real and scary, and I wouldn't wish them on anybody. So I see my therapist next week, so wish me luck talking about it. I'm incredibly nervous. Like I said, I don't want to get blown off again. I don't know if I can handle that. If it goes well with my therapist, I might talk to my psychiatrist about it too. Just because she has probably just a little more experience. So thank you guys for watching. I really just needed someone to talk to about all of this before I talk to my therapist to kind of get my ideas out and figure out how to explain things. So I'll talk to y'all next time.